Hey kiddies, it's Terrible Triple Feature time once again, and this week we're doing the Double Gov Love Fest. That's right, there are 3 movies in which there are not one, but 2 different state governors present and acting in a manly fashion. And these 2 governors are Jesse the Body Ventura, who was governor of Minnesota from 1999 to 2003, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the governor of the great state of California from the years 2003 to 2011. Our menu is going to include Predator, The Running Man, and Batman and Robin. Predator's just a great movie. I just love it. Predator's probably going to, in fact, pop up on a couple other triple features that I got coming down the pike, mainly because it's interesting that the movie is essentially one type of genre movie, an action movie, and then all of a sudden it's a sci-fi movie, with very little preparation or, indication that it's going to have such a tonal shift. Granted, it's an action sci-fi movie, but still, it's such a good time. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Dutch, leader of a crack commando unit of rescue army people. And on his team is Blaine, played by Jesse the Body Ventura. There are a lot of fun things about this. It's like, number one, Arnold Schwarzenegger actually picked Jesse Ventura to play this part. Ventura had been a professional wrestler with the then WWF for quite some time and was looking to get into acting. Arnie interviewed him for the part and thought that, he has the charisma, a giant body, and a deep manly voice, which Arnie would later attribute the success of Predator to the presence of large manly men, such as Carl Weathers and Sonny Landham. Sonny Landham, who played Billy, ran for governor for the state of Kentucky, but did not win. Otherwise, we would have had a triple and then 2 doubles. But anyway. Of note, other than just, Jesse's unrepentant manliness, to match up with Arnie's. Blaine is a pretty ridiculous character for a couple different reasons. One, he apparently determines what times of day he can bleed and what times he cannot. And he's carrying around a minigun as a weapon. Now, a minigun is a weapon, but as a human weapon. Miniguns are usually mounted on vehicles, but, when you're Jesse the Body, you're essentially a vehicle that walks like a man. Another funny bit that apparently, it was either on Wiki or IMDb, the wardrobe people, when they measured Jesse Ventura, revealed that he actually had his biceps were 1 inch bigger than Arnie, and so he ran out and bet Arnie that his biceps were bigger, and whoever, lost would owe the other a bottle of champagne. Little did he know, Arnie actually told the wardrobe people to tell Jesse that his biceps were bigger just to mess with him, because Arnie's a ridiculous human being. As with most bodybuilders, absurdly competitive. But not nearly as competitive and as insecure as, say, Carl Weathers, who would not work out with anybody on the set, but he would go and work out by himself alone, and then claim that he didn't do anything, and was just naturally that huge. Next up, we have The Running Man, and while it features a lot of good Arnie action and silly one-liners, it does not have as much Jesse Ventura as, say, Predator. In The Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Ben Richards, a police officer that was framed for, committing mass murder by an evil, future dystopian, media conglomeration government thingy. It's vague because it doesn't really matter because we're all just trying to get to the game show. The game show being The Running Man, where the title comes in, where a bunch of guys run around and try not to get killed. It's sort of what American Gladiators always wanted to be, but, couldn't get around the whole legalized murder aspect. One of the retired stalkers is Captain Freedom, played by Jesse Ventura. And it's fun because Jesse's very charming. when he talks, which is why he became a color commentator on WWF and why he's just generally entertaining in just about everything. Actually, now that I think about it, why is he not in The Expendables just as like a little cameo or something? Or Carl Weathers, for that matter. Huh. Or Sonny Landham. Why aren't any of the Predator guys? I mean, Shane Black, sure, no, because he's not an action guy. He's an action writer, but still, cameos. Yeah, why isn't the entire cast of Predators somewhere in the Expendables movies? Anyway, so Captain Freedom, they keep cutting to him for like insight from a former stalker, and then every time he tries to launch into a story from his glory days, they cut to something else, and it becomes a kind of funny running gag. Eventually, though, Arnie has killed his way through all of the other stalkers, and they try to bring Captain Freedom out of retirement, but they want him to do all sorts of goofy gimmicks, and he refuses. Using computers, they make a video of Captain Freedom killing Ben Richards, even though in the reality of the movie, Captain Freedom and Ben Richards, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jesse Ventura never actually meet, but in the computer generated, they're beating the shit out of each other. So technically, Arnie's character and Jesse's character never have any interaction within the movie, which is not weird except for the purposes of this triple feature, which is themed around these two guys interacting. Yeah, and really, I'm just at this point vamping so I don't have to talk about the last movie on our triple feature. And mind you, as with all of these, I'm not really, the order is not sacrosanct. You can just as easily reverse the order of the movie so you can end on a high note, but there is an argument to being as, drunk as hell by the time you watch this movie instead of watching this one in complete sobriety, because it's Batman and Robin, and it's just terrible. I mean, it's just I was surprised at how boring the thing is. I finally, I watched all of it really in parts over the years, but up until about a month ago, I'd never really sat and watched the whole thing start to finish. And it's really dull. None of the people in it look like they're, interested in it at all, except Arnie seems to really be relishing playing Mr. Freeze. Because why not? Because it's supposed to be the Adam West Show, but live action, and with George Clooney now. And man, not even for a second do you think George Clooney's Batman. It's really sort of sad. But Arnie does a pretty good, TV show, Mr. Freeze, with the goofy accent, everything is blue or ice themed, and it's almost like extra insulting when they have the cryonically frozen wife angle from Batman the Animated Series, which was one of the better parts of an already just incredible show. But they're there. Mr. Freeze, of course, gets captured and sent to Arkham Asylum, which is kind of odd because Arkham Asylum, even within the Batman mythos, is for the criminally insane, and bad guys usually go to either Blackgate or Belle Reve. I think it's Blackgate. I think Blackgate is the non-crazy prison. And so Mr. Freeze is not crazy. He's just, a supervillain. And so whatever. Mr. Freeze's guard, one of the two, is Jesse Ventura with really, really bad haircut underneath that hat. Jesse's in there for about 5 minutes, and then he gets killed because, he's a guard at Arkham Asylum. It's like, you're kind of taking your own life, your life in your own hands whenever you work in a prison. But I gotta believe that, they just look for people that are suicidal to work in Arkham Asylum, because just the Joker alone, you're gonna die in that facility. And as such, so does Jesse. But you can sort of tell that Arnie, they needed a guy, and Arnie was just like, let's get this guy, because they're buddies. Because Jesse seems to be a lot of fun to be around. Arnie seems to be fun to be around, and they can lift weights together. So, the Double Gov Love Fest, Predator, Running Man, and Batman and Robin in whatever order you want. If you only just want to watch the 5 minutes Jesse's in there, I'm not going to blame you. And I'll see you guys next week.